Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel, and thank you so much for coming by. So once again, we are back with another pick a card reading, and today, as you can tell, we are actually posting a day early because I wanted to really give you guys any messages and anything that is really coming up, messages from Spirit for the full moon, as we're entering into the full moon in Pisces tomorrow. So I figured that it would be a timely message that just needed to come through. So here, as you can tell, I have 3 piles in front of me, and I will show you guys the close-up of each of the crystals so that you can take a look and see which one you resonate with the most. As always, if you are brand new to any of my readings, just know that these are general readings designed for all signs. Take it or leave it. If the message resonates, then it is for you. If it doesn't resonate, then there's a good chance that it's a prediction, or it's just simply not for you at this time. So, and if you are brand new, well, first of all, thank you so much for coming by. Consider sticking around if you haven't already subscribed. We usually do a couple of general oracle readings here on this channel. We also talk about law of attraction and how we can use spiritual practices in a way that it can empower you in the most healthy way, I guess. Okay, let's get right into this. So the first crystal that we have in pile number 1 is this beautiful amethyst piece. Here, I'll just leave my hand in the sunshine as it shines through, which will kind of throw off a little bit of the lighting here. I'll just leave my hand here. Then we have this beautiful moonstone. And we have this wonderful clear quartz, but it's a very, very smooth. It's stunning. Take a moment, take a deep breath, get centered, and let's dive into group number 1. As always, timestamp is going to be in the comments and in the description, so keep an eye out for that. Group number 1, what do you need to know for this full moon? What is happening with the Spirit want you to know? Well, first of all, let's talk about the crystal. This is actually a mix that you can, if you look closely, and hopefully that you can kind of see it through the sunshine, there's little specks of citrine in here, which to me, it's all about using your intuition, but also infusing it and leaning with your heart towards joy, leaning towards the things that actually light you up, and leaning towards the things that your soul is really asking you to do. And right off the gate, it is time to take action. Perhaps some of you may have been in hibernation mode, which is not really surprising during a pandemic, but as things are sort of shifting, Spirit wants you to know that it is time to kind of get out of that energy and really create some movement, create some, it's almost like you need to just kind of shake things up a little bit and change the energy around you a little bit, because I'm feeling like it's almost as if you had like a lot of stagnating energy, and if you end up being stuck in that space, then it's not really going to be beneficial for your career. It's not going to be beneficial within your relationships, with your health. Overall, it's not really going to really get you where you really want to live that balance within your life. And here's your affirmation. When I accept love of the universe as my primary teacher, I will always be guided back to the light. So it's almost as if, and go figure with talking about the amethyst and your intuition, and again, like the yellow is dominating again. I feel like you're really reminded right now to just kind of embrace all the things that not only light you up, but look for the signs around you that really not just teach you the lesson, but really trying to show you the direction. It's almost as if some of you might feel lost right now, or you might feel like you're not really sure. It's almost like I'm getting like this uncertainty where I'm not sure which way to go and what would be the best decision for me. But just know that if you take some time to kind of tune back into your own intuition, and for you to tune back into your own intuition, that requires a certain environment, because you can't do that in a really noisy space. You can't really do that when there's too much going on in your head, or when there's too many people are around you that are sort of dominating what you're thinking about. So to me, when we're talking about using the love accept the love of the universe as my primary teacher, it's like you need to kind of like, that's going to be your guiding light, but the guiding light can only come from if you create space for it, right? Like if you're creating that sacred space for it. So that's kind of what I'm getting here. And then here we are. This actually came up reversed. So with relaxation, I feel like it's definitely time to, this can be kind of interpreted both ways, so I'll give you both messages. I feel like some of you have been spending too much time relaxing, or not so much relaxing, but just too much time, you know, in this stagnant energy. And with being in reverse, that's kind of guiding you to like move out of that relaxation, that really nonchalant energy of just, well, we'll see what happens and maybe we'll do that tomorrow, and really get yourself into action, really make a decision, and really allow all those post signs that are kind of coming up to be your guide. Because here, if we're constantly in the state of non-action, then how can you really manifest and how can you really create all the things around you? But then on the other hand too, this is also a reminder to take some time and really take care of your inner self so that you don't burn out. We have activated earth, fall into my arms, and the blue flame. I think it's actually reversed. I think it came out this way. I feel like some of you are really coming to a realization of, like, it's almost as if right now you're in this path of seeking, but seeking from a space of, like, you're looking for answers that can kind of help you and guide you into what that next, like, I feel like some of you actually already feel like you need to take action, or you were thinking about it, but then you're also feeling like there's that sense of, I'm feeling lost, like I'm not sure what to do, and so instead I'm just not going to do anything. But then here we also have like all of these different messages that you might be currently watching, or you're talking to the right people that are sort of getting you into that mental space where you're going deeper within your spiritual path. And I think that right now your next thing will really be to just sort of stop fighting it. Like, I think that these two are absolutely related when we're talking about accepting the love of the universe. I think that some of you are just really scared. Perhaps that's kind of why you would kind of retrieve back to, I'm just going to just take it easy. I worked too hard already. I don't need to kind of go out there. But then your intuition is screaming at you. And as you're going through this form of transformation, some of you might also feel like aspects of you need to kind of be left behind. And there's definitely a sense of perhaps an ego death, or there's that sense of you need to really let go of trying to control the outcome and stop trying to figure out and control how it's going to happen or which way it's going to happen. You need to lean in with faith. You need to absolutely lean in with faith. Here you go, activated earth with the power places, the Lee lines, trust where you're led. I think that these two are absolutely related, where if you can really lean into your own faith and know that if you pay attention to the signs that really light you up, then you're never going to be led astray. I think that there's a big difference between seeing signs that really other people kind of project onto us, because then that feeds their purpose, not ours. There is a big difference between that versus when you feel it intuitively. I feel like you guys will absolutely need, like, for this full moon, because the energy is so charged right now, I think that emotionally you're kind of going through the ups and downs of it. But I think that if you can find this sense of surrender, and again, like, we're sort of, look how they are aligning. So if you can find that sense of surrender, then you can lean in with your faith and actually just take it one step at a time. We have the world, the cosmos, we have the strength card, and we have 3 of emotions. And let me just make sure you guys can see. Sorry about the light, but not sorry. I love it when the sun shines in, but also it kind of throws off the lights a little bit. So I'll do my best so you guys can see all the cards. So we have the world. And I feel like for some of you with this, it's kind of this taking action thing, this, like, I feel like intuitively you kind of already know what it is, that which area of your life this is affecting, but I feel like it's actually affecting everything. I feel like it's affecting everything because I feel like you feel activated by all of the things. So perhaps it might have something to do with all of the things that are happening globally. It might have something to do with the shift that changed because of what's happening right now, or it could just be simply that right now is that time that it's almost like this is the time for you to step into your power. And I mean, like, really, you definitely have the capacity to handle whatever direction you want to take into, or whatever direction you want to go into. But I think that you absolutely need to stop overthinking this, because here I just feel like it's almost like you're looking at all of these things, and part of me kind of feels like you're looking at all of these options and you're sort of, it's almost like you're overwhelmed by the emotions rather than just kind of bringing it back to your own intellect and to your own intuition. I definitely feel like, again, these two are related with the Three of Emotions or the Three of Cups and the activated earth. Like, I feel like you feel definitely like you're kind of going through this roller coaster, which kind of makes sense during the full moon because it is a very emotionally charged one with being in Pisces. But I also feel like Spirit is telling you that you have been in stagnation energy for far too long. It's time for you to step out of that. Trust your intuition. Absolutely trust your intuition. This is the most intuitively infused full moon, as if you will. But I think that you also need to kind of see what is it that you really need to surrender to, because I think that unless you really let go of that trying to control the outcome, then you can only go so far. I think that you're truly emotionally, you might be blocking your own progress. And I mean, the thing is that, like, things are aligning in the way that they need to for you right now. So it's just, but you have to trust it. So this is what I have for you guys for group number 1. Stay tuned until the end, because I will be pulling a couple of extra cards for you guys so that you can kind of use that as your overall guidance for this full moon. So let's go into group number 2. All right, group number 2, if you have picked this beautiful moonstone, then this reading is going to be for you. So let's see what Spirit wants you to know for this full moon in Pisces. Okay, right off the gate, we have full moon in Leo. Don't let pride get in your way. What are you blocking? What is it that you're kind of letting in the way? It's almost as if, I feel like some of you are very confident, but I think that you kind of don't want to see certain things sometimes, because then that would mean that you would have to admit that you were wrong about your perceptions were wrong initially. I let go of the shadow of the past by seeing someone for the first time with eyes of love. Maybe you have been really judgmental of someone in your circle, or I'm definitely seeing like there's some serious shadow work that some of you are going to be going through with this full moon. I think that it has emotionally, it has already been kind of bubbling up. You have been kind of getting triggered, and and I think that you're not really thinking about this situation from a place of, what will bring, how can I kind of move forward in a most productive way that is the best outcome, that's going to kind of bring out the best version of me, right? I feel like you're definitely getting your ego get in the way, and then you're being petty, and maybe you're being petty, maybe you're not. I feel like it's definitely like there's a conflict that really doesn't need to be a conflict. That's kind of what I'm getting right now. So perhaps lots of journaling is going to be very beneficial for you guys, especially if you can really dive deep into those emotions or dive deep into those messages that are kind of coming up for you, where you're sort of seeing what what is being triggered right now by other people, and why does that bother me so much? Because I know that it's not that surface level stuff. It's something a little bit deeper that really is trying to come up and heal. So perhaps some of you need to do some free writing where you can really dive deeper into what is trying to come up and what is something that is really lurking beneath the surface type of thing. Okay. Purity. I feel like for some of you, you are definitely going through, it's almost like you're going through this transformation where you really want to kind of, it's almost like clean the slate, like, or at least that's what Spirit is asking you to do. Perhaps with this full moon, that it's a really good time to emotionally kind of do some cleansing and really see in how can you kind of clean the slate, right? Like clean up that energy around you. And then we have High Wreath. Your life is a canvas and the cosmic heart. So High Wreath, to me, this is all about longing for a place to call home, but also it's almost like you're also longing, that, like having that sense of belonging, where you belong somewhere, where you're fully accepted and embraced, right? And I think that you're going through this process right now, and it looks really messy. I absolutely feel that for you. Or if it's not, then it likely will be, because I feel like you're seeing sort of what you're manifesting, but you have the ability to transform what you're manifesting. Like as you're seeing all of these things that are around you right now, is kind of being reflected back to you of what is in alignment and what needs to let go. And I think that for some of you, all of these things that are being triggered within you, within your life, within your relationships, is sort of like that reflection, that's kind of what needs to kind of bubble up, and so that you can, yeah, you definitely need to cleanse that. Like, to me, that purity card is all about cleanse it, clean slate, let it be new again, like start fresh, right? But then the other part of it is that the cosmic heart, make your life a moving prayer. Really having that, to me, this devotion really speaks to devoting that time and that energy to you. Can you create that safe space for you? Can you allow you to, can you do that self-acceptance, really? Like, that's what I'm kind of getting, that when you're, the whole ego thing, like when somebody has all that pride and that ego, to me, that speaks insecurity. And when you allow all of those wounds to kind of really fully bubble up and surface, then you can also have the ability to transmute it and transcend that energy, right? But then that also requires you to not only be committed to do that, but also, to me, this is all about really devoting that time and that energy for yourself, where you really honor what you actually need and honor your own self. Like, to me, this is all about self-respect, all about really what does your soul ask you to do? What does your soul need right now? Yep, Two of Emotions. We have the Awakening and we have the Devil. So with the Two of Emotions, it's sort of like, it's like that song and dance. Like, I think that emotionally right now, you're definitely going through it, because you have all of this stuff that's bubbling up, and right now it's so potent. And at the same time, if you haven't yet, with this purity card, like that's sort of what I'm getting, like that really fresh energy, that's starting fresh, or all I'm getting here is clean slate. Like, all I'm getting here is like that fresh, crisp energy. But the way to get to this space is by really just cleansing that old baggage, all of that extra stuff that really has no relevance in your life right now. You need to let that go. And you need to let it go in a way that it feels aligned to you. Don't let it go because somebody tells you to. So I'm not really talking about like when somebody just says, well, you should just get over it. I think that you need to do that in a way that it feels aligned to you. So the other part of it is that I think that as you're definitely getting the downloads, you're definitely getting, you're definitely getting those insights where you're allowing yourself to not only feel all of the things, but then at the same time, you're also allowing yourself to experience all of the things. So to me, there's like, as you're going deeper into your own journey, perhaps it's in your career, perhaps it's in your personal life, perhaps it's in all areas of your life where you're really addressing, okay, what needs to heal? Like, where can I find this home? Like this almost feels like this is sort of like that center of the entire read, where you're allowing your ego to kind of step aside a little bit, and you're finding that inner home. And that inner home to me is all about like diving deeper into what is trying to come up, acknowledging your emotions as they come up, but then also seeing what is that shadow work. Because to me, the devil with the temptation, it's all about that shadow work that you really need to go through. And for some of you, it's going to be relatively obvious what is keep coming up. If it's not, then it will become relatively clear really soon. So this is all I have for you guys. Hopefully this was helpful. And let's hop on over to group number 3, and then at the very end of the video, use the timestamp, because I will be giving you guys a collective message that you can use so that you can use it as guidance. So let's go. All right, you guys, if you have picked this clear quartz for group number 3, then this reading is going to be for you. So let's see what is coming up for you for this full moon. What does Spirit want you to know? So first and foremost, we have the full moon in Aries, a fiery climax approaches. Well, Aries is all about movement, and it's all about that spark of energy, but it's also about, Aries is usually loves to start things, loves action, loves movement, tons of ideas, never really stopping. To me, it's almost as if with this full moon, you will see that all of the stuff that you've been working on, all of the things that you've been really trying to manifest, or you're working on manifesting, is kind of coming to that close. And perhaps this will be the best time for you to. So it's definitely going to be one of those things where all of these things are kind of coming to the surface, and you're really seeing that project through. This would be a good time to like start closing off. This would be the good time for you to like sign that contract, let that come to a close, right? Like let that come to its full completion. I honor how I want to feel. Oh, absolutely. I think that for some of you, you're really starting to give yourself that permission to, and isn't it funny how like we picked the clear quartz, which is all about like capturing that crystal light, capturing that light really within, right? Let's see. I feel like these two are absolutely related, but they're related because you're really starting to give yourself permission to be who you are, to feel how you actually want to feel, to really be mindful of what your own needs are before you start putting other people first, right? That's kind of where I'm at with this. And then we have miracles, like you're starting to really lean in. I feel like Spirit is really reminding you that when you take that moment and really pay attention to all the things around you, then you have all of these blessings around you, but you need to really tune into that rather than just taking it for granted. That's kind of how I feel here. Then we have the Seas of Mintaka, we have the Messenger, and we have the Star Brothers. Seeing potential, bring the unconsciousness to light. Yes, 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 yes. Use your crystals if you haven't already. I feel like here it's almost as if, again, it's like miracles and seeing the seeing potential. It's like, what do you need to close? Who needs to sign the contract? Who needs to make that first move? What do you need to resolve? And how can you use that in a way that it's actually serving you? How can you use that in a way that it's almost like, if it's something that's really positive, then ride that wave. And if you're in that season right now where it just feels like, oh my goodness, like I don't know what to do with this situation, this feels so overwhelming, how can you transmute that entire energy so that you see exactly what it's trying to get your attention to, right? Because here we go with the messenger, because it's trying to send you a message to bring things back into alignment. So if you're finding that things are not going that fantastic right now, it's because we're trying to recalibrate. I'm kind of getting recalibration here, when you're trying to really bring that sense of inner and outer balance back into your life. And Horus energy, protection, loyalty, safety, trust, all of the things that you actually need to really cultivate within your life for you to have balance. But more, I'm kind of getting like, it's almost like you're starting to really honor and respect the way that you're feeling about what's happening right now. And I also feel like the things are getting really escalated. Perhaps like you have somebody in your life that really there's a sense of conflict where really like things are just escalating, but you're not really, like, you kind of want it to come to that conclusion. And here it's basically, it's happening so that it can really send you a message to recalibrate the things around you, and then to bring you some safety, to bring you some protection. And also, to me, this is almost like just knowing that your guides are around you. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what I'm feeling. I'm kind of feeling like here, just knowing that you're not alone in all of this is going to be very important for you. Then you have the Seven of Materials, the Queen of Inspiration, and the Knight of Voices. And I feel like you do have that, like, as you're kind of going through this, you, like, with each step, like, the more, and isn't it funny, look, miracles and Seven of Materials. And look, like, it's literally like moving down the path, just collecting the roses. But the thing is that you need to be able to notice the roses. You need to know that you have all of these things around you that are really wonderful. So stop taking them for granted, right? Like, it's like you need to be the person that really honors that energy around you. You need to be the person that really honors all of the blessings that are in your life. And even if it doesn't feel like a blessing, know that it is. Know that it's all there, so that we bring that balance back into the scale, like into your life, really. You're also going to be getting some downloads if you haven't already. Spirit is really telling you here that with this energy of the moon, it's like not only that like emotions are going to be bubbling up for some of you, but also I think that you're going to get some serious clarity but you need to kind of honor how you're feeling about all of it, because some of it is not really going to make you feel all that great. And I think that there's some wisdom in honoring that. There's wisdom in really allowing you to feel exactly how you're feeling without really judgment or trying to change it or trying to transmute it or trying to really manipulate it in any way, right? And then if you can do that, that's sort of when you can start to really flow with it. You know what I mean? That's when you can, but you also need to kind of rise above a little bit of all of the noise, because sometimes when you get so bogged down, you're never going to see all the blessings around you. You're never going to see true potential in really what is possible for you, until you see all of the things that are like orchestrated in a way so that they not only get your attention, but that you can move on in your life in a way that it allows you to expand and grow, right? And that's ultimately what it comes down to. So hopefully you guys have found this helpful and useful. Stay tuned until the very end, where I will pull a couple of cards for the collective for this full moon in Pisces. So let's go. Okay, you guys, we've made it to the very end. Here we go. What do you need to know? What does the collective need to know for this full moon? Just wanted to pull a couple of cards for you guys. We have flow, reframe, and surrender. So Allow me, divine, to move with the flow and respond with calmness and peace. I think that especially that this is such an emotionally driven full moon right now. I think that allowing you to really stop trying to control the outcome and really allow you to kind of flow and allow it to be what it needs to be without manipulation is going to be key. Anything that is going on in your life right now, you have the ability to not only transmute that energy, but you need to reframe of why it's happening and get yourself out of victim mode if you are in there. And we talked about surrender tons of times here. Surrender is going to be key, I feel like, because it's going to be such an emotionally highly charged full moon that you may already be feeling the energy of it. I'm definitely feeling it. So sometimes learning to surrender it can feel like if you're dying, the ego learns what's hardest, to stop trying to control the whole universe. I feel like some of you are going to be going through some ego deaths. Some serious journaling is going to be really, really helpful to all of you guys, because I think that if you learn to release certain things that are really not serving you, I think that it's going to kind of allow you to create some space of really manifest what you actually need in your life. This is all I have for you guys for this full moon. I hope that you guys have liked it and you found this helpful and useful. And let me know what you are manifesting on this full moon. I would love to hear from you guys. Comment down below, and I will see you guys again in my next video. And of course, if you are brand new, you can support the channel. If you enjoyed this video, you can support the channel by subscribing. You can also hit the notification bell so you get notified every single time that I release a new video. And in the meanwhile, just keep shining, you guys, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Bye.